All right, we're back again, troubleshooting a Honda Rincon transmission that has issues shifting. So once again, it could be it shifts fine when it's cold, but when the oil gets hot or warm, it slips. Or it could shift fine when it's warm, but it slips when it's cold, which slipping when it's shifting fine when it's cold, and then slipping when the oil warms is more common. So this is the Rincon and the Pioneers and the Honda Big Red 700. This is the torque converter. So that's what you would see when you open the case. There's the bead that you would use to remove it using a 3-jaw puller if you don't have the Honda tool. So inside of here are 2 sets of roller bearings, and of course the gear. This lines up on the inside of the engine when you put it back in. So the way you can tell if your torque converter is no good is because a torque converter has a one-way bearing on the inside of it. So the torque converter should only spin one way. The other way it should lock. So when it's spinning, it does that. But when it goes this way, it's when it should engage. It should not slip like it's doing. See, you can hear it. When it's doing that, that's the transmission itself slipping. The torque converter is not locking up like it should. See? Now this way is when it's spinning freely, which is the way it's supposed to be. It should only spin freely backwards. This way should lock, and they should both move together like this. But it's not, because the torque converter is no good. Now there are some times where it will lock, but it's not. See right there, it's locked, but then it unlocks because it's no good. See, there's a locking. As my glove rips. See, so it's locked now, but so this is why you're getting your slipping. The torque converter is locking, and then it's unlocking. Should never do that. All right, so if it does that, you're gonna have to replace the entire torque converter. This torque converter is not serviceable. It cannot be repaired because the problem is internal and there are no parts for it. And this torque converter is kind of expensive. I mean, you're looking at probably $400 or $500 or maybe $600 for this part. I saw a few used and they were like $350, $400. I can only imagine the dealer probably wants $500 for this thing. So usually these have torque converter problems when you have excessive overheating and your oil is getting just too hot, because the Rincon and the Pioneer 700 and the Big Red, they use the same oil for lubrication as they do for transmission fluid. So if your oil gets too hot, you'll just burn the transmission also. The other thing that could kill these prematurely is if your oil gets contaminated with water or mud or sand. That could also ruin the internals. But hopefully this is not your problem, because this is an expensive repair. All right.